Welcome to another episode of Mildly Informed with me, Richie Firth, and him, Chris Skinner. Chris, how are you?
Rich, I'm absolutely furious. I left my glasses at work. I'm not going back into the office till after the bank holiday on Tuesday, and I can't see anything. I recognise your voice. Reading messages is going to be hard in this call. This is going to be a challenge for me.
Would you be legal to drive right now?
Yeah, I'm not that blind, and it's reading. It's not distance. It's just so looking at screens is going to be a challenge.
Is it going to affect your ability to inform, but only mildly?
Well, only in so much as I'm raging. So that's the issue. Everything I say today must be taken with a pinch of salt because I'm furious.
Well, I'm hoping that this is going to make for a fantastic episode accordingly then. But if you are offended or intrigued by anything that our enraged colleague says here today, you can, of course, email us mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com or use our socials @Richie Firth or @Producer Chris.
Well, it's funny you should say that because we had a lot of correspondence to last week's episode, which... if you haven't listened to it, I recommend it purely because we seem to have annoyed a lot of people. And not just over one thing, over multiple subjects. So Mark maybe summarised it in the greatest depth, and reading his message and then analysing what we did, I kind of get it. May I read Mark's message to you?
Go for it.
Hi, Richie and Chris. Bugler Mark here. Stand by for a riffing. You are such a stereotype of a stereotype. The wonder what and if and how one might get changed in public. For fuck's sake. San Sebastian, just get on with life and have fun. Everybody else does without thinking about their ass or plonker. Stop being weird. Chris, 7 p.m. is not dinner time. It is jump in the sea time. No one has dinner at 7. You finish lunch at 3, sweetheart. Give it some time to go down. Dinner in Spain is from 9 p.m. I mean, caveat, I'm from England and I had a 6-year-old. Kudos for allowing your daughter to go and have fun and be brave. That's the end of the tale. We brought some swimming necessities and jumped in and had a lot of fun. Good stuff. At Sandhurst, I went on a skydiving expedition in Germany for a week, and due to bad weather, took the team to a sauna spa, boys and girls, all British. None had felt freer before. Have your bits hanging out, or seeing her bazongas and go like, oh yeah, this doesn't lead to awkwardness or sex or both. Really? Oh, I feel so free. This is great. Strong stream of consciousness from Mark there. Due to rain, we went again the next day. You guys just got to get over the fact that having a schlong or a pussy is not a big deal. Really. And in the best of cases, you try it before you buy it, if you know what I mean. So go and enjoy your life without being prudish. My advice anyway, Mark.
I think he went back to that spa the following day because he liked what he saw the first day.
Yeah. I think he's kind of accepting that, really. Mark, I can't apologise for being the man I am. You can choose to judge me. That is fine. Whilst I am, as I said, more comfortable getting my bits out in public than I once was, I will always be a socially awkward man, particularly when it comes to taking my clothes off.
Don't go changing, Chris.
Rich, if you feel judged in that, I don't think you should be. I think I was the target of that one.
I think you were.
Whereas if you look on social media, your comments on the Coke in the freezer, Rich.
Yeah, do you know what? That took over an hour to properly clear up.
I just don't think it's anyone's fault except you and your family.
Point taken. We do only ever claim to mildly inform.
Yes, and that is a guarantee this week. Thanks for your message, Mark. People can email us or comment on the YouTube literally at this second of the show now, if they choose. If you want to say 5 out of 10 start to the show, get on with the good stuff, say it now.
That's fair enough. Also on our TikToks or any of our social streams, comments are welcome.
Rich, you've had a better week, right? Tell me about it.
I have had a better week, although my fourth child is struggling at the moment. I've got three children and then a lawn. And this summer in the UK has been a really, really tricky one if you are trying to maintain a lawn of any form, shape, or form. Chris, do you have a lawn, educators? And do you
No,
take much
no,
pride in
no.
it
I
if
live
you
in
do?
Hackney. I have a backyard. The closest I have to caring about the state of the lawn is the fact that I play cricket. So obviously the quality of the grass there is relevant. Otherwise, don't care. But I'd love to know more about this great English obsession.
I think it's really important to have a lawn. There's a bit of an English fashion at the moment to get rid of your grass and put down fake turf because it's
Oh
easier
no,
to look after.
no, 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 no.
I'm not a fan of that. Leave that for the greengrocers to display their apples and pears on. And also, if you're getting rid of grass, then there's nowhere for water to drain when it rains in the autumn and the winter, and then we're going to get floods. So that's just a quick biology lesson. But at the moment, we've had a particularly dry summer here in the UK, and my lawn looks like a test cricket outfield from the 70s when you watch old cricket on television. Chris, it's yellow. It's so bad.
And are you not allowed? Is there a hose pipe ban at the moment?
In the area that I live, there's not a hose pipe ban at the moment. So I could, if I wanted, just douse it with water. But personally, I don't think that
Hmm.
is particularly responsible, whether or not there's a hose pipe ban or not. I do take great care of my lawn. I scarify it once a year. I overseed it
Hang on, hang
once
on.
a year.
What does scarify mean?
Scarify means to take out all the dead grass, all the moss, and then you've got all the crap gone, and then that's why you can then overseed, put more grass seed down, put fertilizer down,
Right.
and it's almost like going to Turkey for a hair treatment.
Okay, understood. Tell me this just is a complete non-starter. Um, we only have a small backyard, but there are plants in it, and I would often, in the hottest weather, keep a bucket or jug near the shower, or I would take the water from the dishwasher or from the tumble dryer, and I would throw that on the grass. Is that or on the plants? Is that not a thing you can do?
I mean, you can. I don't have any plants. It's just a lawn, and it's by no means the biggest lawn, but the the washing up yeah the washing up bowl isn't really gonna
Right,
help the problem.
understood.
Now, here's an option that I have been thinking about, because the great thing about grass as a plant, because grass is a plant, is it's very hardy, and it will come back in September when it starts to rain again and there's moisture in there. It'll come back, it'll go green again, and it'll look fine. But the problem is, as the climate changes in the UK over the summer months when you want your garden to look good, the grass just isn't looking good. But it will come back. It will come back. So I think there is space in the market for a brand new product. Why don't we paint our lawns green? Think about it. Think about it. When you watch a lot of sporting events these days, quite often rugby, they will paint onto the pitch, paint onto the turf some sponsors' logos, whether it's Guinness Zero or Coca Cola, whatever it may be. There'll be logos painted onto the grass, and it's fine. So why don't we have some green paint that you can paint onto your lawn so that so it looks green over the summer, even though underneath its soul is dying. And then when it comes back round to the autumn, you got natural green. What do you reckon?
So, on the assumption that the paint is non-toxic and doesn't do worse damage to the grass, it's the equivalent basically of someone opting to, dye their hair once the greys start to come in. I'm all for it. Bless you.
Thank you, Chris. Maybe my paint idea actually has some kind of allergy. I don't know. I don't see why it would be toxic at all. If ground staff are happy to put paint on their turf, and professional sports people are then going to run over it and not get poisoned, I don't see why domestic lawn that's not an option for.
But like I don't see sport as the most environmentally friendly of pursuits, particularly a grass-based sport like golf, for example, which I think is probably pretty bad for the environment. It might be that the runoff from that is bad. It might be bad for animals. It might be bad for the grass long term if you don't wash it off. I really don't know. But if that is the case, that the paint is non-toxic in all those ways, and it essentially just gives your yellow grass a bit of a makeover for the month of August, Richie, there will be people who will buy Firth grass dye.
I thought it could be called Touch Up My Turf.
I mean, that's better. That's a better title.
Thank you very much.
It's slightly pervy, but I like it.
If you work in the ground staff community and have any intel about the toxins of grass paint, do let us know in the comments, or you can email us at mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com. I am going to give a rating of lawn care in the UK in 2025 3 stars. It's getting harder as the climate changes.
This is a call for action that I have never heard in another podcast ever before. Not even on
that's why
Gardener's
people come
Question
here.
Time. Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, what's been on your mind this week? And I'm sure it's not lawn care.
It's not. Okay. It's a food one. Are you familiar with over the last sort of 10, 20 years, there's a controversial news story, it seems, every 6 months about a company that changes the recipe of its product to mass outrage and hysteria. So in the 80s, before I fully caught on, but I have heard the story since, there was the whole new Coke thing where Coke people wonder if actually it was a gimmick because it sales of Coke rocketed as a result of the whole new Coke thing. And in recent years, there's been a lot made about some of. So I believe like McDonald's changed the chicken nugget recipe to make it basically less full of bad stuff, but people still kicked off. I think people liked the flavour of the bad stuff. And there's been Cadbury and a lot of chocolate providers have also, to some levels of controversy, changed the recipe for the worse. I think that's a common thing that we have heard. Rich, are you a fan of Toblerone?
I love Toblerone.
I love Toblerone. For me, I only like the big one. There's something about like the meaty chunkiness of the giant triangle that I'm just super passionate about. Now, you'll remember a few years ago, they made the triangles further apart from each other, so you got fewer in a big bar. I was really upset about that, but at the end of the day, I like a Toblerone, so I stuck with it. It's a treat chocolate. It's an airport gift chocolate for me, or it's a Christmas gift chocolate.
Yeah.
So I don't eat a lot of Toblerone. It's probably, like in the month of August, it's probably 8 months since I last had one at Christmas. And I started eating a Toblerone this week that we got off the back of our holiday a week or two ago. And I was like, what's going on here? What is going on with this Toblerone? It doesn't taste right. And I'm eating it, and I'm like, well, obviously I have to do the most important thing here is I have to test, so I have a second piece. And I'm eating, and I'm like, it's sweeter. Something has happened to Toblerone. It has got sweeter. They have changed the recipe. And I get into a conversation with my wife, Laura. I think they've changed the recipe. She's like, do you think? And she's like, oh, maybe I'll have another piece as well. And so we're back in and forth. We're eating these triangles of Toblerone, getting through way more of it than we should. And I'm like, I have to Google this. And I go online and I look, has Toblerone changed its recipe? Rich, Toblerone has not changed its recipe. It is a completely unchanged recipe. I think the problem is me. I think I've hit a point where I like less sweet stuff in life. And that's even worse than them changing the recipe.
I would love to have the problem where I've started to like less sweet stuff, but that doesn't appear to be the case at all. But I am a great believer that as we age, our taste buds change. There is no young kid that's into coffee, and then suddenly you reach adulthood at some
Oh.
point. Maybe it's work or parenting, and then you suddenly get into coffee. So I do think probably your taste buds have just changed.
Given that I absolutely hate coffee, that does endorse many people's view that I'm just a big man child. So that's yeah. But what a depressing thing. Like, I also don't like salad cream sandwiches anymore, but I grew out of those when I was about 14.
Mm,
So I just don't like like. We review stuff, yeah. Toblerone for me, but until like a week ago, Toblerone for me is a guaranteed slam dunk 5-star chocolate bar. Just no two ways about it. If someone came up to me and went, "I'm not really into Toblerone," I'd be furious with them. I genuinely would fall out with them. And now here I am, and I'm in a conversation with you now, Rich. And I tell you this: I'm not giving it 5 stars. It's no longer a 5-star chocolate bar for me.
what is it?
It's a 4-star chocolate bar.
Okay. Can I just make one more suggestion? What would be to happen? Where did you go on holiday? Where did you get your Toblerone?
I got it at. Laura picked it up. I can't remember if she picked it up London side or Spain side. One of the two.
Oh, it's a fairly important piece of information that. I would have thought it's been picked up Spain side because normally once you're back in
Mm,
London, you just want to get home. You don't want to
yeah,
be suddenly going,
I
hang
think
on,
that's
Chris, I'm going to
probably
go into.
right.
Yeah. What would be to happen if Sunday evening there's a knock on the door, you go to your front door, you open it, it's me. And I'm there with a bar of Toblerone that I've bought in Tesco and I give it to you. Would you then try it or have you written off Toblerone? Because I think that what might have happened is you've bought it in Spain, it's festered around in the heat, you've brought it back, it's congealed and all that kind of stuff. And the structure of things can change. And when the structure of a food changes, the taste changes. I reckon what's happened is you've had one bad bar. Because if it hasn't changed, if the recipe hasn't changed, you might just have had one bad bar that sat around in the Spanish heat for too long, and then you brought it back, and the air pressure and all that kind of stuff in an aeroplane. I think that's what might have happened.
I'm prepared to give that a go. And when you come over, can you return the raspberry tub, please?
There's a running gag for someone who's listened for quite a few episodes. You make sure you listen out for the door on Sunday night, unless you're away for the bank holiday weekend. I'll be there, tub and bar.
Mate, I'm going to be sat by that front door expectant. Like a dog missing its owner. I'm going to be there, pouring at the door, waiting for you.
Let's go with a pending 4.5-star review for Toblerone.
I'm prepared to do that. 4.5 pending. Rich, shall we listen to the sound of money?
Let's do that as it drops into our account.
Pretty good sound that was, wasn't it?
It is. Could have done with it going on a little bit longer, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, although, if you didn't want to hear what you just heard, but you do want to give Rich and I some cash, because we, frankly, are getting bugger all for doing this show, become a patron and you will get so much good stuff. I'm going to give a little spoiler here. In today's Patreon show, I'm going to go on about my local allotment society. Now, if that is not a tease, I don't know what is.
People thronging right now to patreon.com/mildlyinformedpod. And why would they not?
Let's talk more about your week, Rich.
Chris, I'm concerned about the English language.
I don't know where this is going.
I think we are letting it all fall apart. We are letting any old word get in the dictionary these days. The
Totes.
yearly up. The yearly update of the Cambridge Dictionary has happened. Some of the words that have been let into the 2025 edition is absolutely ridiculous. Skibbity.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've got children. I'm very aware of the term skibbity toilet. It's a frequently used term.
It is a frequently used term that means nothing. It means nothing. It can mean anything. It could be good. It could be bad. As a result, it's got no place in the dictionary, let alone our language. Here's another one. Delulu. Delulu. A slang version of someone who's delusional. I could say to you, "Oh, Chris, you're being delulu." No, just say delusional. You don't need a new word in the dictionary for delusional. We've got one that works. So you don't need to make up delulu and put it in there. It's absolutely ridiculous. Another one, tradwife. Have you seen tradwife? Which is just an abbreviation of traditional wife, which isn't particularly a forward-thinking way of looking at your wife. Work spouse. That's not even a word. It's not even a word. Mouse jiggler. That's another one that's
Am I your
gone in.
work spouse?
Some might argue that you would be, yes.
No,
But you're certainly
I'm
not
your bit
jiggling.
on the
You're
side.
certainly not jiggling my mouse.
No, what is a mouse jiggler?
A mouse jiggler is somebody who, well, it can be somebody or it can be a device. So when you've got home working, a mouse jiggler is someone who comes on every now and then and moves their mouse so that their bosses are looking and thinking, "Oh yeah, Chris Skinner's online." Well, actually, he's not. It's just a mouse jiggler that's keeping his mouse moving.
Why had I not heard this term before? That would have been so useful. I could have just skived the last 5 years.
There are people who, what they do is they will get their mouse and they'll put it on top of an old-fashioned watch, because the second hand going round is conning the mouse that someone's moving it all the time.
Okay. Are there any more words or are you done?
Those are the ones that I'm really offended about, and I don't think we need to bother the English dictionary to enter them.
This may come as a surprise to you, Rich. I don't know. I completely disagree. I absolutely love the constant, ever-flowing evolution of the English language. I love the fact that the snake that you get in the UK, adders, were once called nadders, and the letter shifted from a nada to an adder. I love the fact that people make up new portmanteaus, they abbreviate words, they get playful, they get creative. It is one of my favourite things about how English people speak. Almost every word you speak now, Rich, would be indecipherable to someone who spoke Old English, because language has evolved. And unless you want to start quoting Beowulf back to me, I'm not on board.
Here's a word for you, bellend.
Yes, I believe it's a village in Worcestershire.
But Chris, look at some of those things. Like skibbity doesn't mean anything. Delulu, we've already got a word, delusional. There's no need for another word.
Look, as I implied at the start, I think the evolution of language is totes amazeballs. And I have, what? Look, a man with Riz like yours should be totally on board with that kind of thing.
No, like amazeballs is something that you keep in a text between people that are 12. That's not a word that an adult should be using, let alone going into a document like a dictionary.
A document like a dictionary.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm reviewing the new words going in the English language. 1 star. Honestly, we have to have standards in life. You can't just let anything. You can't let anything through. You just can't. Otherwise, our whole language and our identity is just going down the toilet, and we're letting it.
Okay. I don't mourn the past.
But you've got to keep standards about the future. I might as well say, all right, I'm going to invent a new word, arse dongler. Okay, and
what does it mean?
as long as people, Eh? What's it
What does it
mean?
mean?
It means a bearded contrary pillock. That's an
All
arse
right,
dangler.
okay.
All right.
Okay, and if now, off the back of this, yeah, if 1 million people in the UK in the next 5 years were going around talking about people as arse donglers, yeah, and it turned out that that word came from you and it made it into the dictionary, and everyone used that word as the most common term for that, how would you feel?
I'd feel great because I've named it after you.
There you go. You would have pride in adding a new word, regardless of your intent.
Do I make money out of every time someone uses that word? Have I got monetary rights on it? We need to monetize the English language.
I think we should have a new Patreon tier called Arse Dongler. Uh,
Yes, we should. That's what we do.
and
That's what we
it's a
do.
safe space for new words.
Yeah, and some ass dongling tweets. Watch out for it.
Yeah.
It's coming soon.
Look,
Oh,
I
Chris.
respect your opinion there. You can give 1 star. I'm not going to agree.
You are Stongler. What else is on your mind this week?
Okay. This is. I think I'm a decent parent. I'm sure someone would criticise some of my methods. I'm sure I do a lot better than others. There is an element of my relationship with my kids I'm going to share now, which I think is great. And this has been running with both my daughters, who are now 11 and 6, but it's been running for at least 3 years now. And that is, I have an iPhone. I use the notes on my iPhone, and we have a folder in the notes section called Funny Names. And quite simply, whenever we're hanging out, just being legends together, walking to school, walking to the park, doing chores, whatever. Any time one of us can just go, I've got a new one, and we add a new funny name to the funny names folder,
I
and it
love
is a
this.
brilliant bonding experience. May I share a few?
Please.
Dirk Chisel, Terry Chipfat, Rosemary Squelch, Arthur Pooh, Aftab Soundclash, Barry Big Botty, Poo Poo Fartman, Shabooboo Poo Poo, Keith Armpit, Octavius Buttwinkle, Mango Bell, Erskine Quenchflop, and
These are
so
great.
on. And so on, and it's open. Any of the three of us can add a new name at any time we want, and they'll get referred to. So particularly Shabooboo Poo Poo has really taken on a life of her own. Like, she's been talked about. She was first invented 2 years ago, and she has been the talk of the town amongst us this summer holidays. And it's a creative thing. We all honestly, we, like you were doing there, we'll pull the folder out every now and then and go through the greatest hits, and it is just a giggle fest. And I recommend this to any parent out there who wants to have some silly, pointless, time-killing fun with their kids. The Funny Names folder.
I I have with my youngest son come up with funny names. I've never documented it. I think that's a great
Yeah,
idea,
well,
but I
this
have
is
come
it.
up with it sometimes. Quite often, I've done it just to get him out of a bad mood in the morning, to cheer him up.
Yes.
Because the one thing that I find is that I'd say 100% of the funny names that I come up with have got some kind of toilet humor aspect to them.
It's the best. It's absolutely the best. Um, I'm not going to tell you the best way to teach your kids the alphabet, how to help them ride a bike quicker than anybody else, or play grade 9 piano. But I absolutely can give you great guidance on how to turn a boring walk into something memorable. And that is what I'm sharing with you. And so I give the Funny Names folder big 5 stars. Big 5 stars.
I'm going to give it 5 stars, but the stars look like poos.
Yeah. Um, and I think Five Pooh Starman could easily make it into the Funny Names folder. I'd have to check with the
Oh,
kids.
I love it. Let them know whether it gets ratified. You can maybe suggest some funny names yourself for the folder, and Chris and the kids can ratify them. You can email us, mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com. Leave the comments on the YouTube video. In the comments, just unbelief. Unbelief. Just
That's a
underneath.
new word.
It's a new word. Stick it in. Just put poo in front of it. Or you can leave your comments on our socials at Producer Chris or at Richie Firth.
Was that ad break, Rich?
Yes, it was a quick one.
Okay. Rich, I think we've got just enough time for you to give us one more hot take from your amazing 7 days.
I learnt something about animals this week that made me really jealous of the animal kingdom.
Okay. And this is something unique to other animals that we don't share?
It is something that is unique to all animals that we don't do. I am a man who has, for most of his adult life, yo-yoed regarding his weight. And I'm very jealous of people like my brother who appear to have a metabolism where they could eat 6 Sunday roasts and it will not change their figure in any way, shape, or form. So I find when I am trying hard to lose a little bit of weight, the standing on the scales in the morning, sometimes quite a shattering experience, not for the scales themselves, but for one's own morale. So when I read today that the animal kingdom only weigh themselves once a year, I was insanely jealous. Did you know that?
What do you mean the animal kingdom only weigh themselves? I don't understand. What you mean, like once a year a tiger gets on some scales?
Pretty much. So, all the big zoos in the world, you name all of the
Okay.
big zoos, your London Zoo, your Edinburgh Zoo, your Whipsnade Zoo,
Hertfordshire.
your Central Park Zoo, Hertfordshire Zoo, any zoo, they have a yearly weigh in of every single animal that they have. Every zoo in the world, a yearly weigh in, and then they all update their records so that the animal world can update and sort of find out what is the average weight of a tiger, a parrot, a hippo, and all this kind of stuff. But only once a year. Imagine if you were only weighed once a year. And in the meantime, you just eat.
I would totally fix it. So in the 2 weeks before that, I'd basically fast. And then I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. Like, absolutely nothing wrong here at all.
Let me
I
tell
mean,
you. Let me tell you about a hippo called Tapon. He had his yearly weigh-in. The ideal weight of a pygmy hippo is 280 kilos. So he's a sturdy
mhm.
fella. Sorry, the ideal weight is 260 kilos. He weighed in his yearly weigh-in at 280 kilos. So he's a little bit overweight. So his keeper said across the next year, he's going to adjust his diet accordingly. So he's got a year to lose 20 kilos. That's my kind of diet.
Well, maybe like obviously there's always a diet fad, so maybe that is like the Richie Firth backed 12-month diet plan, where you
Yeah.
literally do. It's simple. You weigh yourself once a year. If you come up on weight, you keep doing the same. If you come up underweight, you ever so slightly up what you're eating or up your exercise. And if you are overweight, you don't radically change your lifestyle. You just by a tiny, tiny bit, eat a little bit less every day. And 12
The
months,
only
you don't put
people
yourself under that pressure. I think it's great.
the only people that are going to be against this, and whenever one makes revolutionary change in life, there are people that fight back, is it'll be the people at the likes of Salter, the people that make scales. Because suddenly,
Hmm.
if we're only treading on scales a maximum of around about 80 times in our life, they ain't going to like that.
We are sticking it to big scales here. And I think they need to listen. They need to pay attention. They need to diversify. Big scales, we're coming for you. You can still have a place in the home because a couple of times a year when we're like, have we overpacked the suitcase? We do the whole, I'll stand on the scales without the suitcase. Now I'll stand on the scales with the suitcase.
I don't think people do that anymore. I think most people have got one of those gadgets where you're able to hold like a scale in your hand and then dangle a suitcase off it.
No, they don't. Who does that?
I've got one. Bought it off of TikTok.
You've got like a butcher's hook scale.
Yes.
Why? I guess you are a man who's got a meat man or whatever it's called.
I've got a meat probe. I've got a butcher's hook scale. I've also one of my other little gadgets that I've bought recently, because I don't trust it when you go for an MOT. I have bought a tire depth gauge to measure the tread of my own tires, rather than someone say, "Oh, that's looking a bit bald." No, it's not. It's fine. I've measured it.
Do you bring it along to the MOT? Do you do it before it gets MOT'd? Do you do it only after you've been questioned? Feels very confrontational.
I do it beforehand because then I think it takes away a lot of the concern. Also, when the kids come up with their cars, my adult kids, they're both in their first cars right now. As a dad, I like to measure the tread on their tires before they go home.
I think you're Delulu, mate. I mean, that is absolutely crazy.
I couldn't give a skibbity what you think. I am giving the yearly weigh-in 5 stars. The Animal Kingdom's got it right. And on that, we close this episode of Mildly Informed to those that don't pay. We've enjoyed your company. If there's any comments that you would like to leave, well, you can email us, mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com. Comments on the YouTube channel or indeed our TikToks, and we'll see you in a week's time. We'll see those that love us even more and choose to part money to listen to us over with those on the Patreon imminently.